Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, and we have yet another amazing guest. My friends, it's not just any amazing guest, it's a returning guest. I love when this happens. We get to continue to talk to somebody who has been on the show before and is rocking it. And today, that is this wonderful lady, run on magic lady here, who is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And she is known as the Run on Magic Mom. Out there on social media. Her name is Rachelle, and she is going to talk to us today about how to build connection with online strangers. How do you get on and build these connections and you know actually have an audience who you take from cold to warm to hot, and all of a sudden they're opting into your email list, buying what you recommend, and all those lovely things. So with that being said, please help me welcome the Run on Magic Mom. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am fantastic. And your studio setup is looking magical as always. It's
There it is.
so interesting how just a little touch like that can be look so cool in the background. Where did you get that thing, by the way?
I think I ordered it off of Amazon and just had it
Nice.
personalized. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's so cool. It elevates your brand and just kind of just adds a nice little touch. Your personality is also magical as well. It was great to hang out with you at a mastermind and have you, bring your wonderful energy up in front of our audience. So, how you been doing since then? And uh, to also help us to understand, for those who don't know your story, kind of what got you started in all this in the first place.
Okay, so I originally saw your course more as an opportunity because I am in the network marketing world. I still am in the network marketing world. Let me full disclosure, like I still have my hands in that. But I had watched and watched and watched, and somebody along the way had said about setting up a system that and I'm like, so I did research it. Yeah, funny. I researched a $7 course, but I had taken so many other courses, like a $2,500 Pinterest course and this, and all the courses come back to cold message, send 100 messages a day, you'll get 10 responses. And I had been in 100K club before. Like I used to mention names, but now I got a little too popular, so I don't ever mention what courses I took in the past. But and everybody was the same when it comes to building my business. It was like cold message, wish everybody happy birthday, get in gardening groups and talk about gardening. Hi, I'm selling health and wellness. Like, what am I talking about gardening for? Like, but that's what was taught. So for years, that's just what we did. Like there was a group of us that wake up every morning, cold message, wish happy birthday. Like, and it was literally to the point of burned out. Like I knew I had a good product, but I was so over it at that point in time that I just didn't like, I just couldn't do it anymore, if that makes sense. Like I just couldn't do it. Like I just had no interest in it. Like it was just awful. And I remember December of not this past year, the year before, I paid like Fiverr to run, like, hey, can you help me run these ads? Like bizarre. It didn't really work. Like if nothing against Fiverr, but they were not my cup of tea. I don't know. I just, maybe I never found the right person. But I remember like paying them to run ads, and I'm like I have to make this work, or I have to go back to a 9 to 5. Like
Mm, yeah.
there's two options. Like I either have to make my business work, or I have to go back to a 9 to 5. And that was the point I was at. And I remember seeing, and I don't even know, but they were said about a system. And I'm like, a system? Like, make money while you sleep, like, put a system into play. And I'm like, and there was all these other side hustles that we were watching. And I researched you guys, and I just took the course, I think, and I still wasn't real sure. But when I was like, oh my gosh, like, they're not telling me to gold message people. Are you kidding? Like, this is amazing. They're not telling me to wish everybody happy birthday. Like, this is great. And I remember just taking your course and be like, a funnel? What? This guy wanted to charge me $4,500 to build me one of, like, I remember the excitement of when I started the course. And that's literally like, it's just anybody in the network marketing world, just stop and take this course. Like, you got to get over the point of banging your head off a desk and happen to be in your messenger 24/7. Like, that's the best advice I can give. You can sell anything. I will promise you that, if you do it correctly. And that's just, and once I took your course, I was like, oh my gosh, the heavens open. This is great. And, it's history from there on out,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned network marketing. I was, a network marketer for a long time, and I too was told to, chase, make that list, man, make that list. And somewhere around here, I wonder if I have it. I've got a big old tub of business cards. And my business cards are the business cards that at first I had a bunch made, and I was handing them out, for my network marketing company.
There you go.
And then there you go. And then I was
put these in marathon bags.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm gonna get smart. I'm gonna collect business cards. So I have like this tub. There's somewhere over there on my shelf of like all these business cards that I collected, and I did it all. I did drop cards, the business cards that look like $100 bill that you just dropped, like go into Walmart and just drop them around, sticky notes on gas pumps. I mean, pitching and prospecting anybody within the 3-foot rule distance of me when I'm around human beings, inviting people over to dinner parties and, business meetings and all the things, roll out the whiteboard, lock the doors, and they're like, hold people hostage to, hear the pitch, man, hear the pitch, hear the dream, show the plan. And when I also discovered this from basically having no more people to talk to, and being, sort of brushed off by friends, family, because I had no influence really, like I have no influence with my friends and family, especially when you're starting out. They're the last people that want to listen to you about anything business or buy from you. If they do, it's a pity buy. And so when I got online and I started to learn and implement these strategies myself, I was just a young kid doing construction recently, about a year sober back in, this is 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And it was like, speak of run on magic. It was like magic to me. I was like, oh my gosh, people have no preconceived notions about me, no opinions already formed. And I can get on the internet and essentially have a clean slate with these people. If I can show them how, and that's the approach that I took as well. I stopped pitching my products and my services, my network marketing products, and I started showing network marketers how to generate leads and how to do it online and how to run ads and build funnels and use email follow-up, and started to do affiliate marketing by selling training to network market. That's how I got my start. And to this day, network marketers all over the world are it's sort of a vicious cycle. They come in, they're excited, then they realize the same thing that you and I and millions of other people realize, that it's called network marketing because it's not just about the network, it's about the marketing. And nowadays we have different marketing tools than we did when that terminology was coined. When it was named network marketing, the internet didn't exist. Network marketing's been around since the 50s. I mean, Shackley, Amway, some of these old legendary companies essentially paved the way. That's what they had to do back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But now, with a whole new set of tools, the game has essentially changed. What comes up for you as I kind of rehash my story of coming
That's
online?
100% spot on, and I do think the network marketing, like I'm in a company right now and they're like, why aren't they like getting you to train? I'm like, I don't know, you should ask the owner, not me. Like I don't know. They're like, you've been so successful. I'm like, well, I don't
Yeah.
know, like it's just funny. It's that crazy mindset. Like it's just crazy, that there's so many people out there just trying to make it work. And I'm like, did you make a reel? And they're like, I'm like, just instead of spending an hour or two a day cold messaging people, I'm living proof I don't even use my name. I have a mentor group of 1,600 people, and maybe two of them know who I am. So that's proof that, like, you don't need your friends and family. You don't need your
Yeah.
friends and family. Like, I built a business, and I don't think any of my friends and family are like, I don't even know if they know what I do, to be
And it's
honest
better that
with
way,
you.
isn't
I
it? A lot of
know.
times.
I grew up on a
Yeah.
dairy farm. Would my parents think this is okay? I mean, you could ask them what I do. They're probably like, I don't know, like something on the internet. Like that would be their response. They have no idea. Like, as long as they're not taking my house off me, no one really questions it. But I don't think they know. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just being honest with you. I don't think they know, which I like it that way. Like I don't need everyone. My husband's in the political eye 24/7 for our state. Like, I don't, I'm perfectly fine with no one knowing what I do. Like,
Yeah,
that's
and
just,
anonymity, privacy, right? And
Mhm.
so it's changed. You've been able to create results for your primary company using these strategies. How, in what other ways has kind of learning these skills changed your life or lifestyle?
um, it's more, like, it's just like, I love what I do. I love what I do. I actually, like, this week have started, like, people have just like, can you coach me? This week I finally gave into that. Like, okay, you want 45 minutes with me? You've been begging for it. Like, I love what I do. Like, me being on a call helping someone, a small business network, like, and that's explaining how I got started with this course. Like, it's the whole process. If they took your course, if they didn't take your course, like, you need to take this course. Like, one way or another, I can help you so much, but this is going to make you understand why, I got excited about it. So I'm just like, I just love what I do. Like, that is, before, like, last December, I was like so miserable. And now I'm like, this is great. Like, I can make some videos, go live if I want. Like, you want to boost in business? Let's go live today. It's
Yeah,
kind of wild. Like, it's just the internet is so wild right now that, I mean, don't get me wrong, you have your ups and downs. Out of anybody, we have our ups and downs, we have our battles, but, it's just getting through. There's days I'm like, oh, like, seriously, I didn't
yeah,
wake up to a commission, like, but I mean, you just have your battles that you go through. And, I tell everyone, I'm like, you you got to find something that excites you. And that is what I always, when I'm on live, I will tell them time and time again, don't just be an affiliate for this company or promote this digital product because that person made $100,000, or, I'm like, find something that excites you, that like, there's days I don't want to do this, trust me. Like, it's just one of those that, like, oh, but it has to be something that's going to excite you or you're not going to do it. It
yeah,
has to be something that you're going to get dressed and ready for at least 5 hours a week to make videos or do the reels or find a faceless account, whatever direction you go. But it got to excite you. It got to be something, don't just do it because everyone, oh, they're making money doing this. No, like, it has to be something that gets you excited and you can understand and talk about. If someone messages you, you can't blow a bunch of fluff at them. You got to be like, oh my gosh, like, this is exactly what I did, or, like, and you got to solve the problem. And everyone says to me when I started videos with you guys, everyone's like, but you weren't making money. And you're like, you're right. Like, I was broke as a joke. Like, you're right, I was struggling, but I didn't go on there and pretend I did. I went on there and was like, hey, you think me as this crazy stay-at-home mom can make 6 figures in 2023? Like, that was my beginning videos, and that
Mhm.
attracted. I was getting 20,000 followers a day, and then my Facebook got hacked. We don't want to talk about that, but that's, that was attracting a completely different audience. That was like, all right, like, you really think this mom could do it? I had no idea if I could do it. None.
Yeah.
Like, I was just throwing smoke in the wind at that point in time. Like, it was, and that's how I started. Like, I didn't lie. I didn't make up stuff. Like, I was like, hey, think I could do this? Like, doing side hustles, and sure as crap. But, it's just, when people say, what do I do? I'm like, find something that excites you. Like, I
Yeah.
remember saying to my husband, like, oh, I think I can make 100,000 this year. And he was like, okay, like, looked at me cross-eyed. Like, after I took that course, I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
And that's, you got to find something that relates to people, solves a problem, and gets, you excited to tell them about it, or
Yeah.
you're never going to be successful. That's
Yeah.
just, you have to have the excitement, and you have to be relatable to people and help them solve a problem.
Yeah.
That's
No
my
doubt.
best advice.
Yeah. I love that. And usually money follows and success follows passion, excitement, and value creation. If you're excited and passionate about something, you're going to delve in and learn about it, and therefore you're going to be able to then help people with their problem. And that goes for any niche. It's not just,
Correct.
marketing or online marketing. If you want to help people train their dogs, get their babies to go to sleep, if you want to help get, it doesn't matter what it is, you can, I agree with that. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was burnt out from, construction. I was burnt out from network marketing. And I mean, you can get burnt out from something rather quickly. It doesn't take a long time, let alone some of you who have been doing things for decades that, you're just burnt out from. Um, and I had the same excitement when I came online and I started learning these skills. It was like a whole new world that opened up to me. I now had the marketing shades on, and I could see how people were making money online. And that was a really exciting prospect to me. That was something that had me up early, up late at night, really
Mhm.
wanting to learn these skills. And so, you know, that's why we recommend go through our challenge, get into our blueprints if you can, learn these things, go back to school, go back to school. If you want something different, you need to do something different. You have to do something different, and you have to try. I see some comments where people, even on the show today, and thank you for all of your comments, they're all welcome, and this is a safe place to comment. But I do occasionally see comments that come through. And of course, in 13 years, I've seen this over and over again, is people are like, well, I'm struggling. I'm at a standstill. I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, because you're not used to critical thinking. You have to go through training and then apply and try, right? One of the things that I say to my kids, and they're 3 and 8, is don't cry, try, right? Don't cry, try, right? And then try again, and then keep trying, keep trying. That's what I've just, you know, just hammered into my kids heads. My 1-year-old daughter, she's 8 now. I used to take her to the park, I can remember, and as she was just barely, getting her climbing legs under her, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, because it's not about getting a result automatically. It's about trying. And passion with effort equals magic. When you combine passion with effort, actual effort, you can't just expect that it's going to be easy or it's going to come to you or wait for somebody, a mentor, to come along. Like, if you go through our $5 5-day challenge, you are going to learn so much. You are going to learn so much that you can apply immediately and start testing. And if you really want if you really want an education that comes with, implementation and accountability, you can explore our higher education with our blueprints. But the bottom line is you got to get started, and you got to combine the passion. If you're not passionate about it, and I like that you bring that up, maybe it's not right for you. If you're not passionate about it, you can't force something, right? Just because you want to get rich doesn't mean that this is maybe the right way for you to get rich. We're not saying this is for everybody. This takes mindset. This takes effort, perseverance. This takes pushing through difficult moments. I mean, this takes mental fortitude. That we talked about this yesterday, and we always talk about it. You know, dealing with negative comments, friends, family, online criticism. You got to be able to push through that stuff. You can't let anything stop you. And to some people, they run into a little speed bump, and it's like, up, okay, gotta stop. I'm at a standstill here. I don't, and it's like, no, you gotta. That's just a speed bump. That's just, you're standing in front of it and it looks like a mountain, but it's really just, you have to climb over it. What limiting beliefs did you deal with that you have overcome or are overcoming in this process?
So I remember two things. It was funny. Like I couldn't afford the blueprints, but I was like, and I went through the process. I did the 15-day. I think I did it in like 8 days. I'm like, let me see. And I remember telling my husband, like, he's like, you bought them, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, just give me 1 year. Literally, if Dave tells me to stand on my head, like I'm just doing whatever he says for the next year. And I always tell my mentor group, like, I don't care if he tells me to jump up and down and stand on my head. Like, I'm going to do this for the next year. And like, just give me 1 year. Like, I just remember saying, just give me 1 year. I'm not going to stray. I'm a complete squirrel brain. I'm like, it's only this course. This is all I'm going to do. Whatever they tell me to do, that's all I'm doing. And that's literally what I did. Like, whatever you said, like, you were like, go buy Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, all right, like, put it in my earplugs. And when I was on the treadmill, that's what I listened to. Like, I did whatever you said in the beginning, 120%. Like that was my mindset. And for me, that was hard because I'm one of those people that used to chase a shiny object anytime it come in front of my face. So that was one thing that I had to change. Like I had to change. Like I'm going to spend this money, but I'm only going to do this course and I'm only going to do what he says for the next 12 months. Like I just had that gut feeling, like I'm like, okay, like there's no other money, like this is it. And so that was one thing that was super hard for me because again, I'm like, oh yay, like I'm one of them. Like I literally have a squirrel on my desk. If you ever watch me on live, I'll like, okay, squirrel brain friends, like because that was what they called me. Like I was all over the place. And that was a huge mindset change for me.
Yeah.
Huge. Like it started out with you saying, read this book. And I was like, okay, we're going to read this book. And that was one thing I will for sure say that was a huge, just, it had to happen. It had to happen or I was going back to a 9 to 5. So figure it out. And then another thing, like I'm going to give a plug for the blueprints, like being able, I'm not tech savvy. Being able to set up my funnel and get to call in and have Ryan or Drew or somebody help me when I was stuck was huge for me. Absolutely huge for me because I was like sweaty palms, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do technical stuff. So that was something too that had really helped me grow and get started quick. But I just had to have that mindset where I'm doing this for 1 year. This is it, and there's nothing like, I don't care if I get an offer for a $10 Pinterest course. I'm not doing it. Like, this is what I'm doing, and that I'm telling you that's still to this day is one of the harder things for me, but that's just, and I see people doing it all the time. A shiny object comes in front of them and they run, and another one, and they like, I mean, we see it all the time on social media right now. But that's just a mindset change that I had to have that, if Dave says stand on my head for 20 minutes a day, like that's what I'm going to do for the next year, like my group always laughs because I say that all the time. I'm like, I that was my
Maybe it's time that I actually told you to
maybe
stand on your head.
Yeah, but I'm over the year mark, so I'm not gonna do it.
That's great. That's great. I wondered if you were. I wanted to look at GF Dub's comment. When my son is struggling with homework or a new skill, I tell him I'm proud of him. He looks at me puzzled through his tears and says, "Why?" I tell him because he's struggling, which means he is fighting towards success. And what comes up for me when I read your comment, GF, is that sometimes we need to reparent ourselves as well, because we're adults now, right? And we really don't have mommy and daddy sitting next to us. And maybe we never had that, right? Maybe we never had parents that actually, as we were struggling, didn't criticize or didn't make it right. Parents do the best that they can. But now knowing that your son is, and also the focus on giving him positive affirmations for trying, for struggling through something, that is so powerful. It's always a great parenting skill to affirm the behavior, not the outcome, right? Even if the child won in a game, not saying, "I'm so proud of you because you won," but "I'm so proud of you, man. You played so hard in that game. Your hustle was unmatched. I've never seen you hustle like that. It was just incredible. I'm so proud of you. You're a great team player. You're a great sport, right? I loved your focus in that game. Whatever you want to see more of, the act, the behavior is always the best thing to affirm, because if the child then loses, maybe they might think we're not proud of him. And the truth is, we're still proud of our kids. And so sometimes we need to reparent ourselves as we're struggling through something and take a step back and say, "I'm proud of you, GF. I'm proud of you. I see you struggling. You're turning yourself into the next best version of yourself. Take it easy on yourself. I'm proud of you. Keep failing forward. Keep struggling. I see you. You're doing a great job." Or go to our spouse or a dear friend and ask them to affirm us in that way when they see us. So we have to ask people and tell people how we want us to treat, how we want them to treat us. And sometimes spouses don't, or friends don't know how to support us in a journey like this. So we have to instruct them, sort of like you would like in an intimate setting, right? A lot of people are intimately, physically unfulfilled. You know what I'm talking about. Well, tell your partner what you like, right? Tell your partner what you like. Same thing, we may be unfulfilled in our work relationships or our friend relationships. It's because we don't speak up what we need and how we want people to treat us. And so, GF, powerful comment. Thanks for sharing that. And I wonder how many of you who are listening can relate to that and commit to sort of reparenting yourself. Instead, we're so quick to always want to go run to somebody else to fix us and make us feel better. And then we come into this industry and we think that if we just find a certain coach or mentor or course, and that's why we jump from guru to guru, course to course, because every time we get in, we're still faced with the same situation, which is we still got to do the work. And the mentor still doesn't fly out to our house and sit next to us and be, "Oh, it's okay, Dave. I see you struggling," right? You still got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to stop looking so often for that outside validation and learn how to give it to ourselves, and then how to decrease the size of our circle to the few people who can give us what we need and instruct them how to support us throughout this journey. Anything interesting come up for you as I'm talking about this?
So I don't know if you know this. I'm sure we probably talked about this, but my daughter actually plays on a phenomenal team out of another state. She's a softball pitcher. She's 10 years old. pushed her since she was probably 5. She's been pitching.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me because there's days, and when I started this, I'm like, dude, we push my kids so hard to give 100%, but like, am I giving 100%? Like
Mm,
last year was an amazing year for me. Could you imagine if I'd have gave 100% instead of the 75 I gave?
mm,
Like, and we push my kid to do it, but yet are we pushing ourselves? Like I push my kid so hard when it comes to ball, which she's used to it. I mean, it's not like I like you're not even crazy, but she's used to it. But we want her to be the best of the best, which she definitely is. But like, but when you take a look at yourself, are you like, do I push myself that hard? Like, what if I would give 100% to this business for the next 6 months? Or
mm.
stop making excuses on why I didn't do 3 videos today. Or does it, and I think to myself a lot, like I've had heart to hearts with myself over this. I'm like, you push your kids so hard, your husband won a crazy election. Like you pushed him, but now like, are you pushing yourself? Like that's, like does that make sense what I
Yeah.
mean by that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for
it's easy
sure.
to push everybody else, but it's
Yeah.
also easy to only give 75% and make an excuse for you. And
And I
I
think that
felt that
comes
I've
along
done
with,
that.
yeah, I think that comes along also with, I mean, maybe more women can relate to this as well, as sort of the caretakers and caregivers of your family as well, where you're always like rooting and cheerleading for like everybody else. I mean, I certainly can relate to that. There's no doubt. I understand exactly what you mean, but I just wonder what comes up for some of the women who are listening to this, who have sort of made it your jobs to like support your family, right?
Mhm.
That's like your job, or
Mhm.
you take pride in that. Not your job, but like that's, you've taken that on. The women typically are the glue that holds families together, that cheers people on, that lifts people up, right? You're
Mhm.
taking care of your husband, you're taking care of your kids, you're cheering them on. And we've had a lot of women that have come into this community and have had a real breakthrough in confidence and identity development, because they're like, damn, this feels great to go
Mhm.
find my identity again. Men too. I'm not saying this is only, I'm just wondering if women specifically relate to what you just said, as sort of because women are such good caregivers,
Mhm.
caretakers, cheerleaders for everybody else. And then when it comes time to take care of self, or even push self to do something for self, it's like, it's almost like you have no energy
Guilt.
left for yourself, right?
And
It's like,
there's so much mom guilt. Like,
yeah,
okay, school's
right.
out next week. So I've already was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get up at like 6:30, get my work done, be off the computer by noon. Like there, because I want to spend my summer this year, because I don't feel like I did a very good job last summer with like
Totally, I get that.
that is, do you know what I mean? It's also
Totally.
that too. Like, okay, I have to get up an hour earlier now because I want to be off the computer by noon. And
Yeah.
and it's just like, because last summer I felt like I worked too hard worked too hard at this and I didn't give her enough attention. It's just wild, but it's
And that's not
so
fair for
true.
moms. Yeah, that's not
Mhm.
fair for moms. I think it's like you're built in wildly maternal, just women are so different than men in this respect, because like we don't have that same guilt. Like we just don't. You know what I
Thanks.
mean? Like we just will take. And I mean, it's like and then a mom feels bad for like taking a nap or getting a massage.
A
It's like,
nap? What is that? We
yeah,
don't
no,
take
I know.
naps.
While the guys we're just like we'll nap anywhere. We'll just fall
Mhm.
asleep on the couch, nap in the bed, take even 2 naps a day. Um, but
So
no, I
true.
get it. I mean, parent guilt is something, but especially I think mom guilt, even though I'm not a mom, is like a big deal. And I love to see, and I've loved to see so many moms in our community who are just like, I don't know, finding, like reinventing themselves, finding out what they want their identity to be besides mom and wife. And it doesn't mean go back and climb the corporate ladder and go into an office and serve somebody else, or like, it doesn't have to mean that. Like it's like, you're an entrepreneur, you're building your own thing, you're building your own business. And it's such a powerful example for your kids. Like it's whether mom or dad, but it's such a powerful example for your kids for them to see you doing that. And it actually is so healthy for like our kids to for us not to be like all at their beck and call every minute, you know. And I even said that to my daughter last night. Like I we were in the shower and like I had gotten out and my kids were in the shower and I had like left the bathroom and I was like responding to a message or something. And it was an important message. And like my son was calling me and my daughter like comes in and is like, do you hear Sam? Like, I'm like, child, I have a life outside of being at you guys' beck and call. Like, do you see me doing something right now? And it wasn't like I'm being mean to her or whatever. It was just like, girl, get your butt out of my face right now. Like, that's what I was thinking inside. And I did say, I was like, I got a life outside of being your dad, you know? And I think that, you know, it's so easy to feel guilty in that moment, right? Because
and I
we're just,
still struggle every
yeah,
single day, every single week. Like business is up, business is down. I didn't give her enough attention. Oh my gosh, what if I had to post another? Like I still go through the entire like emotional crazy. Like I've built a great business for myself, but I'm still like, I don't know if it ever goes away, to be honest with you. I don't know, like
yeah, yeah.
I just, once I hit that $1 million mark, do you start to like ease off? Like, I don't. And my husband's like, no, you'll want the 2 million. Like, but
No,
like, it's
for
just,
real, yeah.
like, it's just that, like,
Well, that's why work-life balance is always going to be hard no matter
it's
what you're
hard.
doing. And it's even harder with entrepreneurship
Mhm.
because it's like, you're at home all the
And
time
you're
with
in
your
charge.
phone,
You're in
and
charge.
you're in charge, right? And you got your phone, which you can do so much of your work off nowadays. And it's like it's always with you. So there's like
Mhm.
no boundaries with it. And you're also so you can work all the time or like you gotta and
Mhm.
if you're passionate about it, you'll want to
Correct.
be on the damn phone all the time. So it's like learning how to like set it down, have boundaries, find work life balance. I've tried it all over the past 13 years. I mean, I have gone as far as to get a damn flip phone that I'm serious. Like I'm serious. So like my iPhone being like my work phone, and then like go to wherever T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever, and buy like an old flip phone, and then like give my family, like my immediate family, like this is my number, like that I'm gonna have if I'm so I'll put it's just I've tried it all, I've tried and I don't still currently do that. I went back to the iPhone and it's just
Oh
like
my gosh.
yeah, I mean going on vacation, not bringing the computer, saying that I'm not, saying that I'm not going to pick up my phone, putting, sleeping with it downstairs. I mean, just all the tricks, you know what I mean? So you're
Yes.
not like getting right up looking at your phone in the morning. To me, I just, at this point, I just kind of do whatever I want because I just realize that like if my phone's away from me, I'm just as stressed as if I'm looking at it all the time. So I try to like now my goal is to have my kids not be able to tell if I'm working or playing. Like my lifestyle to sort of all blend together and integrate my work into my life, my personal life. And so like I'll work while they're at school or camp, summer's coming up,
Mhm. That's what I
and then
do.
I'll try to be present. So I won't be in
Mhm.
front of my computer. I'll be on my phone when they're home. My phone will be available and I'll be on email, Slack, things like that. But I won't be like sitting in front of my computer, like telling them to be quiet or daddy. But I also got small kids too. So it's about kind of evolving your boundaries and balance and figuring out what works for you. But I also think embrace the hustle. Like, embrace the hustle. I don't think it's a bad thing for our kids to see us hustling. And because think about the opposite. You go to work and you leave work at home and you come home and your kids never see you working. They never see you hustling. My kids have listened to me, my very oldest, since since they were young, conference calls, ranting and raving in the house, 9-10 o'clock at night, I mean, doing videos and shit. They've seen me do that. They know what the hustle looks like. And I'm not mad about that.
Dave, I have to I was like, I need you to do this video with me. And she'll be like, oh, are you kidding me? You'll be on TikTok making videos all day long, but you don't want to do it with me. I'm like, well, apparently you don't want to go to Disney World then, because if I'm like, I got to make money. So
I love that. Yeah, guilt, threaten, bribe, as long as it's moral, ethical, and legal. I mean, I'm all for it. No, I'll do the same thing. Like, if I'm trying to take like a picture of my kid and they don't smile, I'll bribe, threat, do the same thing. I will. I'll be like, well, maybe no dessert tonight, and then they'll be like, and then it's like, it's over, It's funny when people come in and hang out with me and they see kind of how I deal with my kids. It's wildly effective because I'm a salesperson and a marketer. I use every single thing that I have at my disposal, and it's all moral, ethical, and legal, and it's all in good fun, but it gets the job done, right? And that's what, at the end of the day, what it's all about. I love how real you are. That's awesome. Well, listen, it was great to catch up with you, and this has been a great example, what we're doing right now, of how to build connection with an audience. We've just been being real, giving value, integrating stories, lifestyle, real vulnerable, funny stuff into our content. And that's been, I think, your secret sauce. Going live, it's your personality. It's being real. It's not being afraid to be vulnerable, not being afraid to not be perfect in front of people. And there's nobody better at it than you, my friend. So I just can't wait to continue to see you grow. And thanks for coming back and being a returning guest on the show.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Rachelle. Stay legendary, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. All right. You can find Rachelle over on TikTok at Run On Magic Mom. No periods or underscores. You can find her on Instagram at Run On Magic Mom with an underscore under run_on_magic_mom. She's also over on Facebook at Run On Magic Mom. You all can get started with our challenge, with our blueprint, with everything that we offer here right at legendarymarketer.com/enroll. And that'll take you right to get information about each one of those. I encourage you all to get in there and get started, learn these skills, and stop screwing around. It is time. It's your time to shine. It's your time to step into the best version of yourself and be legendary. My friend will be back here tomorrow for another episode. Be great, be legendary. Have a great day. Get the heck out of here. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for another one.